one small thing.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Walaikum assalam. This is Kaswar Hafeez,
And this is Ahsan Minhas.
and today we are going to be reviewing Joker.
Yes, और ये pretty much पहले तो सबसे पहले ये बात है कि we have a very special guest here because he's just as crazy as me when it comes to films, and I think this is the only guy I can talk with for hours, and he'll say अभी तो थोड़े मिनट हुए ना अभी तो थोड़े मिनट गए
ये तो अभी घंटों तक डिस्कशन जा सकती है, but however we are going to try and keep this discussion to as short a time as possible.
Yeah.
However, we're gonna start off with one simple thing. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's just not possible to discuss any film in depth without,
And this is a very deep film.
Yes.
This deserves a spoiler review regardless of anything at all. And I would say कि सबसे पहले तो I mean because it's an intro, we all know by now what this film is about, and I think many people have the information कि yes, Todd Phillips directed it, Joaquin Phoenix stars in it. It's about a guy named Arthur Fleck who kind of spirals down into madness and then becomes the Joker.
Yes, and that's like your basic idea of how the film will go. So one thing that we really want to insist here is that the film does have a little bit of politics in it.
Yes.
Right? Just a touch, and we don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but it does discuss on how
it's very clear. It's very, very clear in its representation.
Yes, it's more about how rich people treat poor people and how we tend to see people who are disabled.
Yeah.
As
mentally ill, have
yes.
issues that they might not be responsible for, but we perceive it as he's responsible or she's responsible,
and beyond that we overlook these people and how on how much we should help them. So this is the amount we want to spend on this, because it's not a political show,
it's films, and films are subjective, so let's move on to the good.
Yes, so that's the first thing we're going to be discussing.
Yeah,
because it's a good film.
Yes, it is a very good film, and there's a lot to like about it. It is definitely something that hits you to your core. It does not leave you alone for a while. It really it makes you think about yourself.
Yes,
Plot.
but so the very first thing that we are going to talk about is the cinematography in the film.
Beautiful.
Yes, absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful.
And not only that, they repeat shots later on in the movie as well, showing how the character has changed or evolved through time.
It's very visual. I mean, I was imagining if there was no audio in the film, I could exactly know what's happening.
Yes. Do you remember the refrigerator scene?
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Each scene, there's this amount of build up that is always there before something happens.
They hold the shot for just the right amount of time.
Yes.
Right? They don't cut away too fast. They don't.
Oh my god.
Yes, because when he gets into that fridge, I'm sorry, I just really like that shot.
It's a really it's beautiful. The way they executed that scene. I personally love that long shot of him laughing at all the wrong things. That is such a great detail about this character, and that truly deserves, that scene alone deserves its own round of applause, because that scene easily depicts the fact that this character has huge issues, mental issues that are not being resolved, and it's only getting worse, and that he is a victim of it. The fact that the film clearly states he's a victim of it, and everything around him that's happening is just maybe it's just bound to happen with this guy.
And talking about that, Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This guy is going for the Oscar. This is a sure shot nomination, I would say. If he does not get nominated for the Oscar, I would say it's going to be there's going to be riots.
Because let's put it this way, the laugh there, he absolutely gets it spot on.
Brilliant. It's different, and trust me, many people are going to be talking about the comparison to Heath Ledger
and the body that he has.
Yeah, I mean, but most of all, it's the fact that many people will compare. Oh, is it better than the Heath Ledger Joker? Is it as good? Is it not good? My opinion on this is, there's no comparison. It's a totally different thing.
It's a different kind of
it's like
thing
apples and
altogether.
oranges.
Yes.
They should not be compared. I mean, you can like both of them.
Yes.
You don't have to compare them. This is a very much it deserves to stand side by side with Heath Ledger's performance.
Because we have to remember one thing, right? Most of all, this movie is actually a character study.
It is.
Right? It's not really a comic book movie.
And the way this actor has hit it out of the park, I would say, from the physical transformation to even I don't see this guy. I see the Joker. I see Arthur Fleck.
Yes.
I do not see Joaquin Phoenix anywhere.
Exactly.
He's transformed. He's not at all you would call a person that.
It seems like he is the role that he's playing. Not
He is.
Yeah.
It's not that he's playing a role. It's
Yes.
like he is that role.
Yes, exactly.
It's just he's playing himself in
Yes.
some ways, and that's the brilliant part of it. It makes you forget.
Yeah. So one of the better things about the movie, and this might not hit everyone at the right place, but it has really nice humor.
Very nice humor, and combine that with the character study style approach, the slow burn, the step by step incremental process with that humor that does not take over.
Yes, it's not like every single shot is humorous.
It's not like
No.
Joker. Oh, he has to make
Yeah,
jokes.
Yeah. It's whenever he does make a joke, it's always related to who he is or what
Yes.
he's transforming into. And even later, when let's put it this way, it's confirmed that okay, now he has gone insane. So there is this very specific scene that I'm talking about where he commits murder, and then there is a what should we call them? So there's a dwarf next to him.
Yeah, miniature man.
Let's
Sorry
just
if
say-
it's. Sorry, my bad.
Yes. So
but yes.
I'm just going to say dwarf. I hope
Yeah,
everyone's okay
yeah.
with that. But so there's a continuous running joke for about let's say 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Very nice.
Yes,
I would
it's
say
an
very
extremely good
The
series
cinema
of
just
jokes. Yes.
just laughed out
Yes.
loud.
Because that's when you see it. You
Yeah.
know that okay, so this guy is hilarious.
And it comes out of nowhere.
Yes.
It's an actual surprise. And just like that, the humor helps the film progress further. It does not hinder it.
Yes.
It actually makes it better. So I love that.
But so putting it even beyond this idea of as we discussed before, the cinematography,
Yeah.
it's related a lot to the time period that it is set in.
Especially the two films from Martin Scorsese,
Yes.
it's really inspired from those films, Taxi Driver and King of Comedy.
Yes, and they do give a lot of homages to that throughout the whole film.
Very subtle, not too much on the nose, and I would say just enough to make you be like, oh, impressive.
And honestly speaking, the movie that I would compare this to is Taxi Driver.
Yes.
Now, I do think that Taxi Driver is still a better movie, and we'll get into the reasons why I think that and why.
And guess what's the
Later.
common factor in it? Robert
Yes.
De Niro.
Yes.
He was in it. And the fact that he's played talk show host so well that I thought this guy should actually do talk show
he's really good.
hosting. Yeah. He's really good. And I think that kind of settles it in even more that this film is not shy of admitting that it is inspired from these two films.
Yes.
De Niro is in it. What more to ask for?
And the whole setting of the 80s is absolutely brilliant this way, because you do in the 80s you do have a lot of the movements against should I put this against economic inequalities coming out, and we see riots throughout the early 90s as well as throughout the 80s. So it is set in a correct time period, and because of that it does get more enjoyable, because the second you start thinking that in this world maybe the internet exists or has a huge impact, the storyline would change considerably, unfortunately, right?
But at the same time, it is very relevant. The fact that you can believe that this could actually be set in this time period, we have heard of things that are happening nowadays like this. Very much, it feels like it's a mirror to society, and the fact that it really puts a mirror on your face and asks you to look at yourself.
Especially after the 2008 market crash. It's very relevant to what things are.
Definitely is. And I think concerning from where we're speaking, Pakistan,
Yes.
I think it is even relevant here.
So again, stepping back from the politics again. So the score for the film, absolutely gorgeous.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's made by a woman named Hildur, and she's actually the composer for Chernobyl, the HBO miniseries, and that's where you see the parallels of the way she she's using score to basically depict the mental state of Arthur Fleck.
Yes, and the score itself is so moving. Every single time the movie uses its own score, it hits you.
It hits you.
Yes.
It hits you. It just hits you like a brick, and it's something that you're like, oh, it's not too much on the nose. It's just the right amount. It's just the right amount.
So sidestepping the score, the editing, and
Oh my
the
god.
color grading.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god. This, because it's a very complex film. The editing was superb.
Yes. And the color grading of the film, oh, so good. In every single place, every single time that you look. So, for example, do you remember the blood that they're
Yeah,
showing?
yeah.
That is color graded to the T.
Yeah.
He-
I mean, that looks like it's not film blood. That's real blood.
Yeah, and because so he's wearing white makeup at the time.
Yeah.
So the flecks of blood drop on his face, and the contrast is just so deep.
It's really good. I mean, the fact that cinematography and color grading go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So because if the cinematography is good and the color grading is good, it's the sum just blows it out of the water. And I would say it's brilliant. The editing, brilliant. Just everything makes sense.
Yes. So now that we have talked about some of the good, let's discuss a little bit of the bad, because
no film is perfect.
Yes.
No film is perfect.
And I did say that I did like Taxi Driver better.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the first things that we are going to discuss is that the fact that this is a Joker film, which means that
Yes.
it's going to have forced connections with Batman.
But at the same time, I would say they did not have it too much. But yet, whatever they had was still forced.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't think they should have, if they're saying that, oh, it's a standalone thing, it has nothing to do with Batman. Actually, it did something to do with Batman, but I don't think they didn't even have to add that.
They did not need to add that specific plotline.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he is his Thomas Wayne's son. Maybe
Yeah.
he isn't.
Yeah.
The thing is, I understand how it led to his downfall.
Yeah, so that's the spoiler part, exactly why it's a spoiler review.
Yes.
That he reads a letter that his mother sends to Thomas Wayne that Arthur Fleck Arthur is actually your son.
Yes, and it turns out
Yeah.
that he isn't.
Yeah.
But it feels forced, right?
It
so
feels
Yeah, the
forced.
first half of the film.
But
is,
I think maybe if you see it on a storyline perspective, maybe it again it's a stepping stone to his madness.
yeah, but it did not need to be Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, it did not need to be Thomas Wayne. It did not need to be his son.
Yeah.
There might be something where, okay, his mother worked for him, so maybe he would have done something to her where the brother element should not have been there at all.
They could have done a lot of different
a lot
things.
of other things,
Yes.
but maybe this was actually
So
forced.
if it's like if you wanted to put Batman in, it's just supposed to be like a light sprinkling at the
Yeah.
top, but it's a major plot element.
Yeah. So it really is, and they give some time to it.
Yes. So next thing that we're going to discuss is spoon feeding.
Oh, the imagination parts. The imagination parts.
So,
There are.
Yeah, so they imagine a few things throughout the film.
Because guess what? The film is from Arthur Fleck's point of view,
Yes.
so it only makes sense. Okay, that we see from
and
his
he's mentally
perspective.
ill.
Yes, and he's mentally ill. That's established. So it makes sense. But then, the way the scenes of those imagination parts were shot. I think we were smart enough to exactly see there were imaginations. It was absurd in some ways.
Yeah, so for example, do you remember the very first scene where he's imagining himself in the show?
Yeah.
They didn't need to tell
And the
us.
fact that he's called on the stage
Yeah.
and that he's being applauded.
Yeah, they didn't need to tell us that it was
No
imagination.
way.
We figured it out.
We figured it out. It was very easy. I
Yes.
don't know why was that the case.
And and later on, when he is talking with what's supposed to be his girlfriend, this
Yeah.
shows shots of how well she wasn't actually there in the scenes.
Yeah,
They did not need to show that.
Yeah, so I think that was a little bit of a gripe as well,
Yeah.
the spoon feeding element of it. And well, I think my friend here has something very special.
Yes, so this is the main reason why I like Taxi Driver more than this. I feel like they tried really hard. In other words, I feel like they made the Joker more pretentious than he ought to be, especially the dancing scenes. The thing is, I understand, right? He's the Joker. And the dancing is extremely beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it does feel like they're trying to be this artsy film, and it feels like they're trying too hard, which is what I mean by when I say pretentious.
I think in my perspective, well, you have your opinion on this one, but my perspective is I think the dancing scenes, that is what the Joker actually is. So it's very much expected that something like this he could do, if not dancing, anything else, but something along the lines. And then, but the second thing is, you see why the dancing comes in. Where does it start from? You see when he's watching when he goes into this event where Charlie Chaplin's screening is happening. I have a feeling that dancing scene came from Charlie Chaplin's view. It's something when he sees rich men laughing at Charlie Chaplin being all funny like and being very body language wise very funny. He kind of takes that in as inspiration that, oh, maybe I'm at that level, or maybe I'm the one who could be the next Charlie Chaplin, but the anti version.
I understand all of that, but I still feel like that the dancing is pushing it overboard. Right, I understand.
Maybe,
so,
maybe a little bit. Someone.
So
could
when
see
you
that
put in,
sure.
there are certain things that you put in to make your film more art.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll put in, he just imagined that scene, or this has extreme color grading in it, or
and
this
again,
is
again, I really do agree with that point. But then again, I don't know why I relate to those dancing scenes.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They're beautiful, but more than
yes.
that, I think I don't know if I'm seeing very deep into it, but I'm seeing that the dancing scenes represent another part of his transformational process. The fact that at first you see him limp walking in some ways, you feel his body language down, you see him very tired and very hopeless. But then as time goes on, as the transformational process goes on, the dance comes in and it's an expression of freedom. So I think that might be
so that's both of our perspectives on that. But so now let's move on to the next.
In short, too much reliance on pop songs. I think I agree with that. Not used way too many times. Mostly the score was there. But I think, yes, it's become a pattern now in films to make it more relatable to the millennials maybe or something.
Ever since Guardians of the Galaxy did this, movies keep on doing this again and again and again.
So it's just our view, pattern. There's a pattern.
There's a pattern. They keep using pop songs. I mean, I like those pop songs, don't get me wrong, but it's just they do it again and again and again. You have a beautiful score for an amazing movie. Why are you using pop songs?
Totally agreed. And another gripe is the supporting characters were very surface level, not fleshed out. So they were just cogs to.
We are not talking about the mother. Right.
Not the mother. The mother was good enough.
Yes.
Not again fully, but good enough to be acceptable. Yes. But the other ones were just a pass through.
Yeah. So all the other characters,
they
the
were
detectives,
just there,
they just felt like
they were just there to move the story along.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to help trigger Joaquin Phoenix's character a bit more.
So, for example, his co-workers, they're all very one-note characters, so on.
And now the thing very specific to From We're Speaking Again is. I don't think, in my perspective, Kaswar, I don't think this film is for everyone in Pakistan, and not for many people actually who are expecting that this film, it's the Joker. First, expectation of Batman connections, and second, the expectations of it being maybe actiony or funny. I think
it's not. It's a character study. It's not really a comic book film.
If you're going with those expectations that I just mentioned, I think you're going to be disappointed. But if you're not, if you're in the realms of liking Taxi Driver and you're in the realm of liking King of Comedy or Martin Scorsese films, and then something that's dark but at the same time very deep, I think then you're in for a great ride.
Yes, well, but it's this. We still think.
But for the Pakistani audience, I think this is something they're expecting. Mostly, I think the majority is expecting something else.
Suicide Squad like.
Yeah, they're expecting something else, and I have a feeling most of the Pakistani audience is going to be a bit disappointed. But that does not mean you should not go to this to watch this film. So now, that does not mean that.
So now we are going to wrap everything up now.
Yes.
And so we are going to talk about the ending just a little bit. So. Near the ending, there's actually a joke that he makes. Well, he doesn't make it. The exact point is that he says, well, you wouldn't get it. Right? So this is something I would recommend that after watching the movie, please listen to what I'm trying to say after it.
Yeah.
So the thing is, he meets a psychologist during the start of the film, and the psychologist tells him that they're cutting funding and I cannot see you anymore. And after that, that's when his fall really begins. And at the end of the movie, when he has killed like 7, 8 people, and now he is sitting in front of the same psychologist and he starts laughing. And it's funny because if only the psychologist hadn't gone away in the first place, they wouldn't be sitting there. And not
It's like a full circle type
Yeah.
situation.
And it's an absolutely hilarious joke. I mean, a very dark joke, but still hilarious. That if only they had taken care of this before. It's like as though there is a poor beggar sitting on the street, and if you only
It's,
had
it's kind of like now I'm getting what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's very dark, but
Yes.
it's actually it's a underlying joke that has been there the whole time.
Yeah, it's an absolutely great
And
joke.
it hits the right punch as soon as you get it.
Yes. It's a really nice. I really like
It's the fact that it's the kind of like he's maybe I think blaming the city
Yes.
or the decision of that
That,
and
yeah.
kind of blaming that it's your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your fault.
It's
Ain't my
actually
fault.
funny. Yes.
It's your fault. A guy like me,
Yes.
you let me
Yes.
you let me do all this.
So now, what are we going to be waiting for next?
Director's cut.
Yes.
Definitely.
Because a few of the bad things in the film could actually be corrected in the director's cut.
Because I do feel that there's a lot more to the supporting
Yeah.
characters. I have a feeling that a lot of it has been cut with them.
Actually, I was honestly speaking, I was expecting that the film would be around 2 hours long, and I was quite frankly disappointed when it wasn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
So
In
we
short,
liked the film a lot.
yeah, I loved it actually. I mean, for me, this film is probably, for me at least, is the film is movie of the year.
Yes.
This is Joaquin Phoenix is going for the Oscar nomination. I think we might even get best cinematography Oscar nomination for this film, and possibly maybe even for the director.
Yes.
Best director.
So I would say that this is one of the best movies of this year. But is it one of the best movies? That's a tough sell for me.
I think I cannot judge that right now. I have a feeling I just have to watch it again. I have to watch
At least
it
the
again.
director's
Yeah,
cut, yes.
director's cut, and maybe even this cut. I have to watch it at least 2 more times to kind of get into the core of this film.
because
a bit
some of the
more.
scenes were
maybe
quite
see
complex,
if
yes.
I watch it again, does it hold up or not? I want to watch.
Yeah.
I want to see that with myself.
Yeah, so in conclusion, we would actually watch the film again.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yes, I mean it's a slow burn, not in the sense of it being boring. It's fascinating. It's
Yes.
just fascinating.
It's quite a brilliant film, a really nice character study, and actually has things to say about the political situation in the world.
So wherever you are, please go watch it. I really would admire all the film lovers to especially support this film.
Yes.
This needs all the love it can get for
Because,
sure, for the sake of what it touches.
not only is it a popular movie about the Joker, but it
Yeah.
actually is quite interesting.
And guess what? We just did a short film a while back called Smile.
Yes.
That was in a way, well, guess what? For those of you who know, we made a short film like that called Smile. Well, it was in the title, and the concept in a way was actually inspired when we saw the trailer of the Joker. So yes, this has a few connections of our stuff we've done with them. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thanks
So
for
much.
listening.
Thanks
Really.
for listening to our blabbering.
Yes. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later then.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking a lot more because I'm gonna have Mr. Kaswar here, doing a lot more other stuff with me on this channel concerning
Inshallah,
podcast. And so yes, get ready for that. Thank you.
All right. Allah Hafiz.